Hello, this video is going to cover distributive property. It's a concept that we learned earlier in the school year, and it's a concept that you are going to see again next year in your math class. It's a really important property. It's a property I often use to do mental math as well. Now we're going to see algebraic expressions using the distributive property, but numerical expressions using the distributive property can be used to calculate things mentally. So this is going to be very similar to a review sheet that you'll see on the distributive property and simplifying expressions, and it can guide you through those first sets of questions if you're struggling with the distributive property. So let's begin with number 1. The directions ask us to rewrite each of the following expressions using the distributive property, then simplify. So if I have 5 and then in parentheses x plus 8, my goal is to get rid of those parentheses, and we can use this sometimes when we're solving equations. So in order to do that, I need to distribute the 5 to each of the terms inside the parentheses, and we're going to distribute that by multiplying. So I'm going to take 5 times x, and then I also need to take 5 times 8. So you'll notice in the first step that you'll see, I'm going to have 5 times x plus 5 times 8. These arrows represent multiplying. So 5 times x is going to simplify to get us 5x, and 5 times 8 is going to simplify to get us 40. So our final answer is 5x plus 40. It is our goal to get from the very beginning to this last circled answer without having to show the in-between step. We did get there when we did this earlier in the year. However, you might need this review of where we get the 5x plus 40 from. The biggest mistake I see students make is they take 5 times x, which is great, but they forget to distribute the 5 to the 8. You've got to take 5 times 8 to get 40 as well. All right, let's take a look at number 2. So we're going to distribute the 3 to both the 2x and the 9. So I'm going to take 3 times 2x and 3 times 9. So you're going to see right away I've got 3 times 2x plus 3 times 9. And I do want to reiterate that that plus sign comes from inside the parentheses. 3 times 2x is going to get us 6x, and 3 times 9 is going to get us 27. So our final solution is 6x plus 27. All right, let's take a look at number 3. We're going to distribute the 12 into the parentheses. We're going to take 12 times x and 12 times 3. But what you're going to notice is a little different here is that we have a subtraction sign inside of our parentheses. So you've got 12 times x minus 12 times 3. 12 times x is going to get us 12x. 12 times 3 is going to get us 36, so our final solution will be 12x minus 36. Now, if you write your answer as 12x plus negative 36, that is equal or equivalent to what we have here. All right, let's take a look at a problem that involves a negative number outside the parentheses. So we are going to distribute that negative 5 into the parentheses. So we're going to take negative 5 times x and take negative 5 times 7. Negative 5 times x is going to get us negative 5x, and negative 5 times 7 is going to get us negative 35. Now you can see that I wrote this answer in 2 ways. So negative 5x plus negative 35 is equivalent or equal to negative 5x minus 35. So we have more than one way to write the same answer. Now you do have a question on your review sheet that involves fractions. So this is where you want to probably have your calculator handy to plug in some multiplying by fractions, although we'll talk about how to calculate it mentally or by hand as well. So we're going to distribute this 2/3 into the parentheses. We're going to take 2/3 times x and take 2/3 times 15. So you'll see that in the first line here. 2/3 times x plus 2/3 times 15. 2/3 times x is just 2/3 x. We need to take 2/3 times 15, which you can plug into your calculator, or you could think of it in a couple of different ways. 1/3 of 15 is 5, and we are looking for 2/3, so double 5 to get 10. Or you could take 2 times 15 to get 30 and then divide that by 3, since 2/3 times 15 over 1 is 30 over 3 or 10. So you don't necessarily need a calculator for that, but you can utilize that as a resource. All right, we've got two more. One of our questions involves another subtraction type of problem, and another one involves multiple variables. But we're going to treat these exactly the same. We're going to distribute the number that's outside the parentheses into each of the numbers inside the parentheses. We're going to multiply those. So we're going to take 7 times 3x, and we're going to take 7 times 2y. So my first step is 7 times 3x plus 7 times 2y. 7 times 3x is 21x. And 7 times 2y is 14y. So our final solution is 21x plus 14y. Finally, we are going to distribute the 5 into the parentheses with number 7 here. We're going to do 5 times 2x, and we're going to do 5 times 11. So that becomes 5 times 2x minus 5 times 11, and that is 10x minus 55. Couple of things to remind you of. Number 1, I cannot combine 21x and 14y in number 6. Those are different variables, which means they're not like terms. Same goes with a question like number 7. Sometimes I'll have students do 10 minus 55 and get negative 45 and write negative 45x. That would work if it said 10x minus 55x, but it doesn't. 55 is a constant. It's actually a negative 55, but 55 is a constant. 10x has an x attached, and we cannot combine those. All right, hopefully you have enough to get started and complete some distributive property problems. These are, again, really important for other concepts we will do this year, and definitely concepts you're going to see in the future. Thanks for listening.